Hey guys, just thought I'd make a video. I'm going to try to make this one. I got a little bit of time before my mother gets back, so I'm going to see how I do with this thing, see if I can make this okay. Before she gets home, I wanted to make a video of why I think I struggled with women. And by the way, if my nose sounds clogged, it is. I've blown it a million times. I'm just about over the sinus infection, but I'm having sinus clogging. So if you're wondering why my voice sounds a little weird, I'm a little when I'm talking, that's why. But I just thought I'd make a video talking about why I think I stank with women and why I just, never succeeded in the game. And how a lot of it really isn't your fault. And I'm going to explain to you my reasons why I never was, had any kind of intimate relationship with a woman, sexual relationship, anything of that matter. And if any other guys have these problems, comment me and message me. I'd love to hear back from you. We can kind of talk about, some of the issues that we've had, because I'm putting myself out there. You can see me making videos, but I'm going to go over some of the issues I think, reasons that I had that I think made me horrible with women. I've always said, I think, based on my study of history, science, and other things that I've read, I think two things are going to basically influence about 80% of your life, and that is your genetics and your environment. The gifts and genes that you were born with, and what you grew up around. Who'd you grow up with, what place did you grow up in, that sort of thing. And I'm going to give you some reasons now of what influenced my genetics and my environment and what I think made me what I was today, to this day in my life. Excuse me. Number one, I lost my father at about 4 years of age. It was a week before my 5th birthday. My father died of cancer when he was 32. And I'm not going to go into all of this in this video, but I think my father was close to an alpha male. He wasn't a complete alpha male. I'll probably agree with that. And maybe if he had grown up in other parts of the country, I live in the United States. If he had grown up in other parts of the country, excuse me, he might not have been an alpha male, but here, he's pretty close to it, even though he did travel a lot with his job. My dad was a pipe fitter, made pretty good money. We had about a middle class to near upper middle class life. Not quite, but pretty close before he died. My dad was about, I'm a short guy, and I'll get into that a little later, but my dad was about 6'1", had very masculine traits, real man's kind of man, and I think, he was good with women. I'm going to mention that in my other video. He was good with women. He dated quite a bit. Women weren't as willing to have sex out of marriage in this area back then, but if they had, he might not have ever got married anyway. Because I think he would have been an alpha or very close to it. But even if he wasn't, the fact that I didn't have any father figure in my life, I think definitely hurt me with women. I grew up around nothing but women, my mother and my younger sister, and then at times I stayed with my grandmother, my mom's mom. Both of them were very feminine ladies, very sweet. My mom's a very outgoing person. She actually got an award in her high school when she graduated about being so friendly and so smiley, and happy and nice to people all the time. My grandmother was very similar in her personality. I think it hampered me not having a male influence in my life. I couldn't relate to women, and I guarantee you a lot of guys this day and age, if they are not good with women, minus some kind of a defect or handicap that they have, a lot of times it's going to be because they grew up around women. They either didn't have a father in the home, he either left them, died, as in my case, or he was a wimpy father, a very feminine father, or a father that the woman ran the house kind of thing. I think that definitely hampered me. I did, because as we know, all of us MGTOW guys know, and to me, men should, I think, learn this in general, is that women don't want nice guys. And that's what I became. I was the nice guy. I wasn't a jackass. I wasn't cocky. I wasn't aloof, because I was kind of, I was kind of desperate, I think, at times. But I was not any of those things. I was the nice guy, and we know what women think of that. They hate it. They'll like you if you're a nice guy if you have something else to back it up. Either you're very good looking, very masculine, and if you're masculine, you probably ain't gonna be a nice guy a lot of times. Money, or a lot of money, or some social status in your area, or celebrity type thing. If you have one of those three things, and if not two of them, yeah, you can still get women being a nice guy. But if you don't have most of those things, you're not going to get a lot of women, if any at all, in my case. Some women may like nice guys. I don't think the majority do at all, in any way, shape, or form. I've seen it my whole life. So don't try to tell me, don't try to tell me that women like nice guys. Don't try to tell me that when I've gone through it my whole life. I would always be like, oh, he's so sweet. He's my best friend. A guy, I didn't want to be her friend. I had pals. I don't hit and sleep with my pals. You know what I mean? I don't have intimate kissing relationships with my buddies. That kind of thing. So they don't like nice guys, and that kind of turned me into that, because my mom was this kind of a person. She was a, hey, how are you? I'm good. She was kind of like that. Well, that's what I grew up around, and that's what I was. Sorry about that. If I keep looking back, I'm wondering if my mom's come back in the house. But that's what I became. The nice guy. The just easy going. I acted just like my mom, because, hey, my mom always seemed to get along with everybody. Now, she was a big talker, and I'm kind of the same way. If I get comfortable around you and get going, and that probably drove some people crazy, because people don't like talkers a lot of times. But nobody was really mean to my mom. I never saw anybody be very disrespectful to her. So I just naturally thought people would be like that with me. I'm a guy, but I didn't think anything different. No. No, I got exactly almost the opposite a lot of times. They didn't like me. They didn't want me around. I was a wimp. I was a pussy. Because I was feminine. I'll admit that. I had kind of a feminine side. Because I grew up around women. Didn't have a male father figure in the house. And I'm telling you, it's funny how I read a comment on one of the videos I watched, MGTOW videos, that women don't really want nice guys, because my mom didn't end up with a nice guy. And I'm going to get into that, like I said in the video about my dad. My mom didn't end up with a nice guy, but yet she very much raised me to be a nice guy. It's so weird. Women will raise, a lot of times, their sons, not all women, but they'll raise them to be a nice guy. And they don't like nice guys. They're not attracted to that, because my dad wasn't. But my mom didn't put up with everything he did. But like I said, I'll get into that in another video. My sister was more masculine. She's 2 years older than me, 2.5, and she was a career-oriented woman. She moved away. I know she was with at least 5 guys, I'm sure sexually, at least 5. When she moved away for a while, she lived a pretty good ways away from here and was single. So I don't know how active she was, if she was carousel riding. I don't know. Wasn't there. She was with a bad boy, married him, divorced, went back to him at least 8 times, 8 or 9, 10 times, I can't remember, but he was a bad boy. And she was very put downish to me. I could tell she didn't like me at all, being the nice. And I was a Christian guy too. I became a very serious Christian man. I was not a Christian boy, I should say, at the time. I was very sensitive. very easygoing. I was, I was a serious Christian. I didn't cuss. I didn't go out and drink and party. I wouldn't have had sex with a woman probably back then because I was so serious about my Christianity, even if a woman had wanted to. She hated that, mocked me with it constantly, told me I'd never get a woman and all of this, and I think it really became ingrained in my psyche. And then, of course, I didn't get a lot of success, and it sent me into a lot of depression. And sorry about that. I was checking my video. I think that was one major reason why I, got, off to a bad start with women. Number two, I'm short. I'm only about 5'7". Like I said, my dad was 6'1", good height. I was 5'7". So not only did I not have a male role model in the house who would have been a strong male role model, I'd have been probably pretty masculine, at least other than maybe the way I looked. I was short. And I don't care what women say. I don't care. Sure, if I had other qualities, it wouldn't matter. If I had some status, very masculine, if I had money, yeah, I could probably get away with it. But you women know, and even then it still ain't easy. You women know, and I've had women tell me, oh, it don't matter. And I'm sure some women are into short guys. I'm not going to say none are. I have seen some tall women with short men, that they're actually taller than. But let's be honest, most of you know you're not. You're not into short men. You want a man to be at least taller than you, if not tall and masculine. And I know some women, if they see this, if they even care and take the time, because I make most of these videos more for me and for the guys that struggle like me. If they do comment, oh, that's just not true. Women, yeah, the majority, it is. Yeah, the majority of tall guys are more masculine. They're going to be more confident. That also hurt my confidence being shorter. Because every time I looked up, most everybody was tall. All the guys mostly were. They were at least my height and taller. I had very few that I was ever taller than. So it always kind of made me feel inferior. It just does. When you're looking up at somebody, I don't know how women are because I don't think it matters with women as much. But with guys, when you're looking up at somebody all the time, that makes you feel inferior. It just does. And it's not fair. It's not. Because I've seen short women. My mom never understood it because my mom's short. She's 5'2". And she would always say, oh, well, I never had that problem. Never ever bothered me. Because women don't. They don't care about stuff like that. But they want a guy that's tall. My mom, what'd she go out with? A guy that was 6'1". Come on. Sure, not all of her boyfriends were giants or even above average height, but come on. Don't give me that. I know that women want taller men because I got that in school. I remember guys would mention me, and I would overhear their conversations. They didn't mean for me to hear it, but I heard it. And I would hear guys, they'd tell them, hey, why don't you go out with him? Why don't you go out with him over there? And they'd point at me, and say my name, and they'd go, oh, he's cute and everything, but God, he's so short. And they would say that. So I knew it mattered. And this was a lot of girls. It wasn't just one or two. This was quite a few girls. So I knew it mattered that I was short. And nothing I can do about that. There's things you can do about a lot of things. If you're fat, you can really train and lose weight. If you're not a good speaker, you can get therapy and learn to speak well. If you have bad vision that you have to wear glasses, that's another thing, by the way. You can get contacts and put them in. If you lose your hair one day, you can at least get hair transplants and they look halfway normal. You can at least, you have to spend money because it's expensive, but you can do something. You can't do anything about your height. There's nothing you can do. Just like losing a father. You can't change that I'm not going to be as masculine because I didn't have that role model. You're not going to change that. And you're not going to change height either. You cannot fix your height. You can't. Your height is your height. And let's be honest, any women that watch this, it doesn't matter if a girl's tall or short. Yeah, guys might be into the longer-legged woman. I agree with that. I mean, I kind of am, sexually speaking. I find it more attractive. But let's be honest, a guy will settle for a short girl. He ain't going to be that picky. If she's pretty and short,